Ladies and gentlemen, the world of professional wrestling never stops, and welcome to another ridiculous report. Raja Jackson is an absolute asshole. That's the leading story. I don't know if you've been living under a rock. You've had to have seen this video here. He attacked Syko Stu, Stuart Smith, an independent wrestler, a veteran who has PTSD, who uses wrestling to escape that. Raja Jackson decided to attack this guy because, and he filmed the whole incident on Kick, which is just a commentary on everything. Why this guy felt the need to stream him sitting around for 2 hours at this event stewing as the chat egged him on. You can't take shit like this, man. Come on. Like, that's what got him going. And then he gets in the ring during... So let me just backtrack. I'm already all over the place. This story pissed me off so much. Syko Stu smashed a beer can over Jackson's head outside a couple hours before the match. He was pissed. Jackson, rightfully so. He didn't understand what was going on. Syko Stu apparently didn't either. Thought he was a wrestler. Didn't know he was a UFC MMA guy here for the event. They worked this into an angle. Syko Stu's having his match. Raja Jackson interferes, hits a ridiculous spine buster that Syko Stu lands on the back of his head, already looks unconscious after he hits the canvas. And then Jackson, who is Rampage Jackson's son, decided to just throw 22 unanswered punches at this guy's head while he was unconscious. He lost teeth. He was choking on his own blood. He was in the hospital. And then after he just almost pretty much attempted to murder the man live on his Kick stream, Raja didn't think to end the stream. Let's go outside. Let's start talking shit with people where they can't fuck with me. They can't mess with me. They're screaming this shit. This is a professional wrestling event, dude. You shook the guy's hand. If you had an issue with him, fight him there. You shook his hand, made it seem like it was all set, and then decided to blindside attack him like a bitch. This isn't tough guy shit. This is pathetic. This is one of I haven't seen anything like this in wrestling ever since I've been watching it. Even in like in independent scenes, I've seen some stupid things like jumping off of balconies with barely anything on the ground to protect yourselves and broken legs, all kinds of shit like that. I've never seen somebody live stream an event that he was supposed to appear at. I don't know what the fuck. It's KnockX Pro Wrestling Academy. Rikishi used to be associated with it. WWE, it was a WWID affiliated program. They removed that affiliation after this incident. So this Raja Jackson just cost this company a bunch of shit. Who's watching this guy's Kick stream? I don't understand. I'm just not in his demo, I guess. I don't understand what the appeal is here. I mean, he's a famous guy's son who's not talented. End of story. And he can't control his emotions and has no business ever appearing in professional wrestling. I'm shocked that he hasn't been arrested. The video is insane. If nobody stopped him, he would still be punching him now. His head would be like embedded into the canvas. He just lost his mind and would have killed him live if nobody stopped him. Maybe that was his intention, but I don't ever want to see this guy again. So, he can, I don't know if they're going to press charges. I can't imagine why they wouldn't, but I don't ever want to see him again involved with wrestling in any way. He's incapable of functioning in a professional environment like that. That was the most insane shit I've ever seen. Nobody was saying anything to him for hours. It was just, it's pathetic. But Andrew Smith, Syko Stu, Stuart Smith's brother, provided an update on Facebook. He said, "Thank you for the prayers, concerns, and kind words for my brother Stu. Please continue praying. He's currently stable but in critical care. At this time, we're focused on his recovery and appreciate all the support." There's also a GoFundMe set up that's in the description if you want to support the family. Just ridiculous. I have no respect for that guy. None at all. I hope I never see him again. WWE had to reshoot an angle on SmackDown because it was so shitty. Logan Paul knocked out John Cena in a backstage segment towards the end of the show, or was the end of the show, and it looked terrible. Looked absolutely god-awful. It reminded me of Becky Lynch's little rabbit punch to Liv Morgan. Whenever the hell that was, I'll never forget that. It was one of the worst-looking things I've ever seen. This was right up there. So they had that air live. They reshot the whole thing, reshot Logan Paul running away. They reshot everything. So, just a funny little botch there with Logan Paul trying to make this knockout punch a thing. He's so athletic. Why that's his finisher. Why that is even, like, he's so athletic. Just, he's the pulverizer is so much cooler than the knockout punch. But maybe, obviously, I don't think Logan Paul or John Cena want to do the pulverizer at Clash in Paris. I think John Cena doesn't want to have anything to do with that move. So maybe if he loses, which I doubt, he'll lose via the knockout punch. They set that up. But I just remember being underwhelmed when that was the Big Show's move. And now I'm seeing Logan Paul do it, so I'm all set. The past 2 episodes, I've talked about Chris Jericho. Let's make it 3 in a row, shall we? Dave Meltzer is suggesting that Chris Jericho could return at Royal Rumble 2026. Nothing confirmed, as Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Live. Here's his quote: "There are those in AEW who believe he's not going to be back and will start in WWE as a Royal Rumble surprise. The only thing we've heard from WWE is that they expect him, but keep in mind at this stage of everything, if he's looking to go there or negotiate with them, he's going to give that impression. I can tell you we've heard the same about other AEW stars over the years that WWE was pretty sure they were getting, and some of them went, and some of them stayed." I've said this before, I'll say it again. Chris Jericho, to me, his best option by a landslide is to return to WWE. And this isn't really even a shot at AEW, their state of things right now. This is more of how AEW fans view Chris Jericho. He was getting please retire chants. Nobody cared about him as ROH champion. If he returned to AEW, I'm not sure he'd get a pop at all. If he goes back to WWE, it would be deafening, at least for that first night, because the WWE universe misses him. He could do the list. He could reignite his rivalry with Kevin Owens. To me, there's just a lot more exciting options for Chris Jericho in WWE than in AEW. Like Chris Jericho versus Kyle Fletcher, I don't know. I don't know what if he returns to AEW, I'd have him working with younger stars to try to build him up. I don't want to see Chris Jericho versus Adam Copeland in 2026. So I'd like to see Chris Jericho back in WWE. He can, again, work with Kevin Owens, then, maybe develop something with Grayson Waller, who's just doing absolutely nothing. There's a few people he could work with in WWE that maybe he could elevate. But at the end of the day, he's winding down. He's 54 years old. He doesn't have that much time left in the ring. Do you want to spend it in AEW or do you want to spend it in WWE? I know he said he doesn't want to go. He doesn't really care about the Hall of Fame. Do you want to spend your final couple years in AEW wrestling Bandito and then doing collision commentary once you retire? Or do you want to go to WWE, finish your remaining time in the ring in matches that a lot of people are going to see, and then if they have a backstage role there for you, sure. If not, go into the Hall of Fame and then go work at AEW in a backstage role. I don't understand why that couldn't work. I'm talking about strictly for Chris Jericho's career. I don't even think it's like a decision. I don't think it's a discussion. Just think about it. He's 54. What's AEW trying to do there? We're the best wrestle, right? Everything's an athletic feat. Everything's over the top. Chris Jericho can barely do a lion salt right now. And that's not shot at him. He's 54 years old. He shouldn't be doing lion salts. So he should be telling stories and creating memories and having matches that the match isn't the most important thing. But that's not a fit in AEW to me. So go back to WWE. Tony Khan, they introduced this Money in the Bank type thing. Money in the Bank Light is what I'll call it. If you win a gauntlet match in AEW, men's and women gauntlet match, you get a title shot, and they give you a contract, and you can execute the contract or cash in your Money in the Bank contract whenever you want. Not anymore in AEW. Tony Khan at the Forbidden Door media scrum after the event, after Hangman Page defeated MJF to retain the AEW World Championship in a match that was initially supposed to be with MJF's contract on the line. They had a whole promo 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. The following week, they just scrapped it. Fuck it, his contract's not on the line. Also, Hangman can lose via counter or disqualification. That didn't happen. And MJF still has his contract after that loss at Forbidden Door. He still can cash in for a title match, but he has to now give a week's notice to Tony Khan. So the element of surprise for the cash-in is gone. And now it's just, you win a gauntlet match, you become the number one contender with a week notice. So I don't understand. To me, why don't you just have the winners of the gauntlet matches face the champions at the next PLE or special theme Dynamite, whenever you want to have the gauntlet matches every year. If it's going to be in August, do it at Forbidden Door. The winners get a title shot at Forbidden Door. I don't know why they have to now tell Tony Khan a week in advance. I don't understand why they overcomplicated a Money in the Bank cash-in so ridiculously so that they had to take it away. I don't understand, just think about that for a second. They introduced a Money in the Bank contract concept ripped off from WWE. And again, that's not a shot at AEW because everybody's supposed to be ripping each other off here. It's the wrestling business. Everybody rips each other off. So I was fine with them introducing a Money in the Bank concept. It's fun. It's novel. It's a novelty. It's once a year. Oh my God, this guy won the Money in the Bank contract. He's almost guaranteed to be a champion when he cashes in. When is he going to cash in? He only has a year to do so. All this stupid shit you can play in your mind. Is he going to cash in here? You're on edge. Is this the time? No, just take that away. We're going to have a conversation on social media. I'm going to, hi, Tony. I'm MJF. I'd like to inform you that I'm cashing in at All Out on September 20th on the Dynamite before. So we have a 4-day, 5-day build for a title match. Again, it's a 1 week notice. I don't know if is it a strict 1 week or can you let them know 2 weeks in advance? I just think it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Again, they introduced this concept, fucked it up so royally that they had to take it away after Forbidden Door. It's crazy. Just think about it. They introduced the concept, then they took it away and said because of fans compared it to WWE's Money in the Bank. It's no, because you didn't know how to fucking do it. That's why you took it away. You didn't know how to make it interesting, and you just moving parts on this MJF and Hangman Page championship storyline that totally just overshadowed the build. It's like, well, why are we changing the stipulations 18 times before the match? Just tell a fucking story. And finally, Naomi was supposed to defend her Women's World Championship against Stephanie Vaquer at Clash in Paris on Sunday, but obviously Naomi's pregnant with Jimmy Uso. The happy couple is going to be having a baby. Naomi's going to be gone for a while. She relinquished the Women's World Championship. And on today's Raw in the United Kingdom, Adam Pearce informed Vaquer that her title match is canceled at Clash in Paris, but she will be getting a title match at a future date. And he said he has an opponent in mind who she'll be facing for the title, but he has to iron out some details. Every other match this guy announced, he just says, and that's official. And it is official. But this match, he has to cross some T's and dot some I's here. We gotta check out what's going on here. A lot of moving parts to book this one match for some reason. But they will be having a women's title match regardless at Clash in Paris because the Women's Intercontinental Championship match between Becky Lynch and Nikki Bella was announced during this week's episode of Raw for this Sunday at Clash in Paris. So that's exciting. Hopefully it's going to be a good show. The crowd's going to be electric. People were pissed that AJ Styles is not on Clash in Paris. He'll be challenging Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship on next week's Raw in Paris, in France. So he will have a match in Paris, just not on Clash in Paris. But that is it for this episode of The Ridiculous Report. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have not subscribed, please do so. Have a good one.